So my particular research looks at developing a sustainable research capacity for democratic reform in Ukraine. In particular, looking at how technology has added value for both individuals and the collective groups of both KERF and REDRU. In relation to this technology, I'm talking about the use of YouTube, Facebook, online conferences, online meetings and seminars, as well as Twitter, emails and mailouts, and how this technology has added value. My case study relates to the events occurring in Ukraine at the end of 2013 and into 2014 with EuroMaidan, as well as the continued democratic reform occurring in Ukraine, and how people throughout the globe who are spread in many different countries and interested in democratic reform can connect in a sustainable conversation and dialogue that looks to document and analyse what is actually occurring in Ukraine. This ties into my research questions, which relates to how can technology can contribute to a growing community of scholars in fields where key researchers are spread throughout the globe. My second question is, what has technology added to both individuals involved in KERF and REDRU, as well as in developing a sustainable research capacity on democratic reform in Ukraine? In relation to this community of scholars, I looked at Wenger's framework for communities of practice, in which I wanted to look at how KERF and REDRU could be placed within this framework in relation to the measurable outcomes as well as the feedback that was occurring. My methodology looks at both quantitative and qualitative data in relation to Google Analytics, as well as interviews conducted with key researchers within both the KERF and REDRU projects. In relation to the Google Analytics, this was collected from those variety of technology sources previously stated, in which indicates that thousands of people are engaging with the online content that both KERF and REDRU are producing. But what is the value of this accessibility and being able to identify this? Well, this is where we also see key correlations to heightened uses or hits within the websites, as well as these forms of technology when there is more activity being posted to the websites or these forms of technology, and therefore instigating more new visitors, more people coming back and more people engaging with the topic. In relation to the interview data or the qualitative data, this was being used to identify where this value adding was occurring. So for example, a key theme that was developed through the interviews was that both KERF and REDRU are developing a global platform for people to engage with scholarly and academic literature that relates to democratic reform that has been conducted on the ground and then is being disseminated through this use of technology throughout the world. However, technology can also have both strengths and weaknesses within its use, and this has been seen within both KERF and REDRU. Such examples of the weaknesses include the cost as well as accessibility to some of the programs and technology available. However, there is also a number of strengths that this provides. One such we've also already covered in relation to connecting this widespread dispersion of people throughout the globe within one centralized platform. So in relation to Wenger's framework of communities of practice, and as well as the quantitative and qualitative data, the KERF and REDRU projects can be situated within cycle 4 of the framework, in which the data that is being collected, as well as the outcomes are being met, the achievements of both of these projects have been measurable, and the feedback that is being provided, as well as the form of this research, can be used to enhance these programs into its next stages of development. Within these next stages of development, some key recommendations have been developed from both of these forms of data sets, in which one such recommendation is consolidating all of the online resources into one centralized platform that can be easily accessible and also documents the history of both KERF and REDRU. On to my conclusion for this research. Both Kurth and Redrew have utilised technology to add value to both individuals and the collectives within the project. Such examples for the individual development and value-added process involves developing academic communicative skills that have enabled people both in Ukraine as well as in Canada and the rest of the world to engage with people and projects that encourage this collection and dissemination of information. For the groups of both Kurth and Redrew, one such value-added process is creating this sustainable global community of scholars, which relates to this cycle 4, where the outcomes of the projects are being met and people are engaging with the topic, and the sustainability of the project is being indicated within the results that we are constantly getting new visitors to the website. There is increased number of people engaging with this topic, and that sustainability is being maintained. So overall, this project or this research wanted to see specifically where the value-added processes were being obtained for both Kurth and Redrew, in which we can see through the quantitative and qualitative data that technology has the ability to connect these people throughout the dispersion of the globe in a sustainable and engaging manner.